You know what it is? It's all facts, no pain sport podcast. Yeah, ski. Listen, man, it's time to cook, baby. You know what it is? You see the thumbnail, you read the thumbnail, you read the title. You know, it's all facts, baby. But yes, we gotta talk about it, man. We definitely gotta talk about it. Boots Vergil still a go. You know, Boots Vergil still a go. We got a great show today. Well, I got a great show for you today. Jermall Charlo back, WBA title, against Armando Resendez. Magia is out now, so Armando and Magia ain't happening now. But listen, we got a lot to talk about on this live today. Usually I like to wait to the 8 minute mark. But fuck it, since I still got the strike, now I mean, I might as well cook, right? Hey Timmy, what up? My God, what up? What up? Yo, it's a lot going on, man. You know, been doing a bunch of research, reading. This Golden Boy situation crazy. This Golden Boy and Vergil situation is very, very, very crazy. And that's what I want to get into and really talk about. From both lawsuits. Yeah. Jermall back. Jermall back. If I'm, Magia, he's out of the question now for the Armando Resendez fight. If I'm not mistaken, ain't Armando on the PBC? So it looks like Jermall will be having that title shot, and if I'm not mistaken, it should be like April, between end of March, April, no later than May. That fight happening. It's all in the works. The WBA is allowed in Armando Resendez versus Jermall Charlo. We all thought it was going to be Munguia, but I guess Munguia is out of the question now. But they said Oscar De La Hoya is willing to still finalize the Boots versus Vergil fight for, the 18th. But we're going to get into all of that situation, through both lawsuits. There's too many counter lawsuits that's happening back to back that's behind the scenes that a lot of us don't even know nothing about. One thing about me, it's like having a law book. You gotta do your due diligence, man. You gotta do your research. You gotta do your homework, and provide the truth. This is all truth right here. Ain't nothing fake. This is all truth detail. Good money. Even no Vergil. Hey, Beats, what up? What up? Was more talent. Yeah, a lot of people say that. You hear me, Timmy? A lot of people say Maul was the most talented one, but me, I always thought Mel was. I don't know. I just always thought Mel had that dog. But when you seen Maul, I don't know. Once his condition came, it just became fucked up. Somebody could have slipped him a Mickey. You know what I mean? That's what I always thought. Yeah. I've been in the lab, man, all the time. I just made some beats yesterday. But during the course of me making beats and stuff, I still come down here and do my homework and still do my research on certain things. Yeah, shout out to David Morrell and Colin Smith happening February 18th too. That's fight happening February 18th. There's a lot of fights happening February 18th. I mean February 18th. I mean April 18th, y'all. My apologies. I mean April 18th. There's a lot of fights happening April 18th. We got Morrell and Smith April 18th. Supposedly Boots and Vergil supposed to be April 18th. You know, yeah, his jab definitely was fire. And he still got a nice jab to this day. He still got a nice jab to this day. Maul still got a nice jab to this day. But shout out to the Fedora and Thurman undercard. You got Frank Sanchez versus Richard Torres for the IBF eliminator. On the Fedora versus Thurman card pay-per-view. March 28th, 2026. I want to talk about this Keyshawn Davis situation going on a rant saying he'll knock Abdullah Mason out when to keep it tall, Abdullah Mason got more knockouts than Keyshawn got wins. I've been using a dog about to switch to MPC. That's what I'm about to switch to and trying to learn them MPCs. I be using dogs, because I make all my beats. It was some real shit, right? I still like Fruity Loops. I gotta learn more. Rest in peace, my cousin, because we had a bunch of studios, so like certain like Dark Road, all the niggas used to be at my cousin John getting their haircut and shit. So he had Fruity Loops and Pro Tools, Logic and all of that over there. Me, I just use Studio One. So I make my beats on Studio One. I just be purchasing certain things, even certain beat packs, because I be trying to collab with certain people. So the best thing for me to do is create my own beats and collab with certain producers, put my tag and a tag, to get my shit up out there, which is I just started doing. So I uploaded 2 beats and I uploaded 2 songs. So I got 4 joints. I dropped between January and February. You know, like during February, I dropped 12 Skinny song. I made the beat and I dropped what you call it, Saint Valentine's dope, and I made that beat. And then the 2 beats that I dropped in January, Meth Head and Phantom Ghost, I made those beats. But yeah, getting into boxing, y'all. Let's talk about this shit, man. Listen, y'all heard what I said. Oscar De La Hoya still trying to finalize the deal between Boots and Vergil for April 18th. But let's get into detail. Vergil was made offers by Matchroom. Matchroom offered him a 3-fight deal, and one of the fights was Boots started off, between this fight was between 12 and 20 million, right? But Golden Boy, during that time, they still was offering him a 16 million plus upside 3-fight deal. Abdullah was getting dropped by dishwashers twice and had a tough fight with Noakes. I'm not sure he wants that Keyshawn smoke at 140. Well, listen, Keyshawn getting dropped in sparring by Shakur and other people, and Hitch exposed that. You feel me? But when you look at the resume of fighters who fought better competition, Abdullah did, because Sam Oates better than all them majority all them niggas on Keyshawn resume besides De Los Santos. He ain't even fight De Los Santos. Yeah, that was gonna be a tough trio to beat, but we seen one of the toughest trios. You know what I mean? Well, it wasn't a trio; it was a gang at the time. When you had Tank, Broner, the Charlo brothers, Deontay Wilder. Like, we seen that story. And Floyd still there, Danny, all like we seen that story. But remember that gang? That gang was funny as shit. I mean, and Bud was running around in that circle, still pulling up on them guys when everybody was around. So boxing was always lit. Niggas just ain't. I always said if Bud would have went to PBC, oh, boxing would have been something different. PBC had all the fighters. Boxing would have been something different. And he wanted to go over there, but they capped him. I mean, it wasn't Bob, it was the people that was running the shit, who Bob had running the shit, capped his head all up. Oh, you're going to get the Pacquiao fight. And my nigga ended up fighting Jeff Horn. The nigga should have been a pay-per-view star, right? Since 140 when he became undisputed. Because they didn't even give him all. He could have fought Mikey at 140. They never gave him the title shots, never gave him none of that situation. But he earned the situation once a lot of niggas went the other way. Yeah, but Golden Boy sent Matchroom a cease and desist on January 16th. But another offer was offered to Vergil, like I just said, the 16 plus mil and shit. Vergil and his lawyer Greg Smith filed a motion of opposition to Golden Boy Promotions. You know what I mean? It was like, and that's when or during that time, remember, I made a live like a couple days ago stating that Golden Boy, the federal judge, from the U.S. District Court's file, when they did a 22-page file about from Golden Boy claiming Vergil plans to fight Boots without Golden Boy involvement in TRO shit type shit. The judge, sided with Golden Boy and they blocked it, But that's when Oscar came back out and said he's still willing to finalize the situation. But word was the shit was signed. You know what I mean? The shit was signed. Now, GBP now comes to court to seek a temp restraining order, and that's when Vergil and Rick, they filed something. Like it's too much. I mean, counter situation going on. But Golden Boy Promotion claimed that a fight with Boots Ennis will cause GPB irreparable harm. It will cause them harm. I want y'all to think about that for a second. But people also got to remember, Rick Maringian is only, his job is to do what his fighter tells him. And there's nothing wrong with Rick is doing. But there's nothing wrong with Oscar doing. And listen, to my knowledge that I know of, you feel me, that I remember going into 2025, Oscar saying, they got the zone deal, a 4 or 5 year situation, and that's when they start talking about Top Rank. Top Rank was the only people that ain't have, a contract with no streaming platform, no clear channel, etc. That I know of. And I remember Oscar doing that interview. He had a black suit on. But now when this shit comes about, like it's all retardo type shit, you know. It's just a corporate duck, you know. But Oscar said he's still finalizing the situation, so hopefully on the 18th of April, you know, of this year, 2026, we get this fight, you know. But the key thing is, you know, that I know that I'm stating this fact because don't Oscar Collazo got a fight on his own March, if I'm not mistaken, like March 14th, you know. They still having fights on the zone, Golden Boy, so people got to make this shit make sense. Seriously, right? Ain't they fighting on this Saturday? Still Golden Boy, right? PBC, right? High state situation ring, right? It still doesn't matter. It's still on the zone, you know. But we hear that, you know, Oscar Collazo opponent has changed. You know, Jesus Harrow. You know, he's fighting Jesus Harrow right now. Mexico on Jesus Harrow. You know, still a good fight. Puerto Rico, Mexico. Uh, and Gabriela Fendora, you know, on the undercard of Barbosa and Sims on the 14th. So if I'm not mistaken, I think all three of these fights is on the same card. You know, and that's a fire card. You got Oscar Collazo, you know, Jesus Harrell, you know, Gabriela Fendora, main event. You know, you got Barbosa and Sims. No great card. No great card. Um, you know, it's a lot. Yeah, getting the Charlo though. Getting the Charlo though in this Armando Resendez bout at 168. You know, Armado been elevated to the WBA full champion. You know, since Bud vacated. You know, since Bud retired, you can't say vacated. He retired. Same shit though. And shout out to Maul coming back. You know, Maul coming back, pressure and pain. You know, his jab gonna always look superb. We seen what he did with Cornflake. We seen what he did in his other two last fights, even with Benavidez. Uh, Hopefully he tighten up more. You know, hopefully he tighten up more. Cause like I always said, man, I thought Mel was always the better Charlo. This is to me, you know. I always looked at Mel had more dog in him, you know, um, and was all around great at everything. I just looked at Maul as, you know, his jab was superior, probably, you know, just more of a boxer than being more like a dog, like his little brother or big brother. However, whoever came out first, you know. Oh my god, this shit hurt my head. Mm. But damn, YouTube, send the notifications out, man. Send the notifications out. You know, we trying to cook, we trying to talk about this. No, it's still happening though. You know, fingers crossed. You know, people still finalizing contracts. People still gonna get a big payday. But hopefully, both of these fighters get 20 million off this situation, between 12 to 20 million off it. But if me personally, if I were them, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna get that. Well, this is what we're gonna do. Since y'all offering me that, then fuck it. Just I'm just focused on the back end. You know, so just give me what up front. I'm gonna go pay my taxes with that, and then the back end is what I'm gonna scrap up. And you fuck around and make that. I mean, you fuck around and make that. Now you just look at it. All right, and the back end, I probably made. We both probably made 30 million a piece, even if it's on pay per view. We probably get them stakes too. Cause listen, y'all, I'm telling y'all, me personally, if Shakur and Tio really did 1.2 million pay per view buys, I think it was the whole package deal. So hopefully, when Ryan and Barrio show, hopefully they did 1.2 million two pay per view buys. Because if that whole package deal did that, and that's just pre-order, bro, you still got a lot to go. You still got a whole year to go. So which means is that shit about to up it. That shit about to be the biggest pay per view package ever purchased in boxing, and I hope it's like that. You know, I hope it's like that. You know, I hope it's like that because if you just put it just on one fight doing that, and these brothers ain't, it's their first pay per view hostage, bro. You like, nah, that shit ain't do that. But when you look at the package deal, the 12 plus fights package deal, it'll be perfect. You know, it'll be perfect all around the board. So all the pay just, and that's just pre-order, y'all. People got to remember that it's just pre-order, and that shit they be 1.2 million pre-order pay-per-view buys, and all 12 fights get that. You still adding on. So the more you add on, let's say by January, Now, let's say by the end of the second quarter, going into the third, they had 6.7 million pay-per-view buys, the package deal. That means all 12 fights, let's say 15 fights throughout the year that was pay-per-view televised on the zone, all did that. And that's just going into the third quarter. So starting from Tio and Shakur to the last fight in December. I'm just saying, right? It makes a lot of sense. Because at the end of the day, when Canelo come on, going into the second half, third quarter, fourth quarter, that shit, that shit gonna skyrocket. You feel me? That package deal gonna skyrocket. When September comes, going into the third quarter, fourth quarter, that package deal gonna skyrocket. So it helps every fighter that's on that package deal become pay-per-view stars. And that'd be something great because it's something different in boxing. You know, it's something different in boxing. But I feel as though that's what the 12 package deal plus deal of the pay-per-view that the zone presented. I believe it did 1.2 million buys. And every fight about to be that. So what Ryan and Barrio's about to add on, that shit probably go to like 2.7 right now or 2.4. You feel me? So that means T.O., Shakur, and Ryan, since they was the first two pay-per-view, they had 2.4. Then the next fight should do more. Then Boots and Vergil should up it more. Then like I said, by the time Canelo come, they should be at like 6.7, right? 6.8 million pay-per-view buys throughout the whole package deal, which makes it great for all the fighters, which turn them into pay-per-view stars. I just won't put it on one fight. Please don't do that. Because people will be like, oh, y'all lying. And then people will start saying it's fire stick shit. No, I believe that the package deal did that. And watch, I mark my words, watch they do, watch Ryan and them. When the fight comes, it's going to up it more. Now, I mean, people purchased it. Let's say 100,000 people, all right, we're going to purchase it. Then when they heard Tio Shakur happening and it's part of the pay-per-view, people got more interested. Say, oh, we're going to buy it. So all these fights is part of the pay-per-view. Then y'all start putting them on it. People started buying into it, man. It make a lot of sense. And it's going to be something different, man. Now you can give people, full packages, the pay-per-view packages with fights, I'm just saying, though. But yeah, Armando Resendez, it's going to be a tough fight for Maul. It's going to be a very, very, very tough fight for Maul. Shout out to WBA, one of the oldest, the oldest title in the game. Shout out for them upgrading, Armando Resendez, even though he still was champion. Know what I mean? He wasn't an intern. Tatum, they was the champion. A nigga just was super. Know what I mean? So when you got the regular nigga, you the real champion. It's just you got a super champion, and I'm the regular champion. Still a fucking champion. You're the champion because you gotta win the regular to become the super champion. You feel me? So it's gonna be a tough bout for Charlo. It's all about Charlo keeping Resende off his ass. That jab, his jab is superb. You see him. If I'm not mistaken, he's probably still got Rodney in his corner. But his jab going to be spectacular. It's just all about the outcome. It's all about the outcome. You know what I mean? So hopefully, we see how this outcome goes. But getting into this Boots and Vergil shit, man. They say it's happening. Before Oscar and them hopped in a situation and came in with the restraining order, they said Vergil signed the contract. You know what I mean? But Oscar not wrong for what he's doing, because he's the promoter, but you seen what Vergil seen what him and Rick can do without Oscar. It was offered a 3-fight deal between 12 to 20 million. Well, him and Boots was gonna make between 12 to 20 million plus a 16 plus upside for the 3-year deal fight for the 3 deal fight. So Vergil probably won't be coming off probably like, let's say 32 million dollars. Know what I mean? You still get the big unification fight. That's what I'm saying though. Hey Timmy, the WBO fucked the belts up. Remember, it was only 3 belts back then. You had the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF. When I was growing up, it was only 3 belts and 8 divisions. It was 3 belts and 8 divisions. Once the Mayweather effect came in, bro, Like 2000, the WBO came. Top Rank just took over the WBO, which is the most. Nobody don't want that belt, bro. Nobody want that belt. Everybody want that WBC. Why? Because you know you're gonna make quadruple the money you making now just by holding that fight. You know what I mean? I was real big on not wanting the WBO belt recognized in the 90s. And that's a fact, bro. You know what I mean? And I don't care if I'm not mistaken, that belt they stationed in Puerto Rico, some shit like that. But I'm not big on the WBO. Like that's why I say that's top rank though. Every top ranked fighter, the first title they ever win be the WBO. Unless you build a relationship with the WBC and been going to the conventions since an amateur or going to USA boxing, the Pan Ams, etc. Wherever you at around the world, you know, you build a relationship because they build a relationship with fighters. They scout fighters, you know, since a youth, you know. How much since a youth, you know what I mean? But that's how I look at the situation, Timmy. You feel me? That's how I always look at it. You know, and for Keyshaw to come out here and say a belt, not nothing, bro, you just won a title and became a champion to talk that bullshit. You feel me? You just won that title. So if you would have the WBA regular franchise belt in term is so hard to follow sometimes. I can only imagine casuals trying to follow it. True that. True that. True that. But the real ones know. Us real ones know. Us real ones know. And that's why we here to talk about it, Tim. We here to tell people what it is. Hey, what it is. I don't know. But I'm going to keep it real. I don't know about Mel, man. I don't know. I don't know. I think Boots. It'll be a great fight, but I think Boots beat him. I think Boots beat him. I think Boots beat him. I understand sparring situations, bro. But if you don't, Boots was whooping Canelo ass in sparring, bro. He was whooping his. Why you think Buzz stood southpaw the whole time? He had a problem. He couldn't fuck with Boots in the southpaw position. He had Boots, but even though Boots was switching on him, but he made Boots fight more in the south. Boots was whooping that boy ass. Why you think Bud never switched from the southpaw position? That's all I'm saying, man. Like Charlo, and I like him a lot. I like Mel a lot. Mel the dog to me. It'll be a great fight. It'll be a great fight. You know? No, and the reason I say that just between the Brian Costanzo, because that was a war. I like Brian, you know, and Brian reminded me like of a younger Canelo back then. When Canelo came in the game, he reminded me of a younger Canelo. But dang, whatever happened to Brian, man, that nigga was nice. I liked it. I liked it. Best person to give Charlo a run. But I'm gonna be real. I like both fighters. I gotta be in the draw. That's the only toughest fight for Boots out there. It's Charlo. Charlo. You know what I mean? At the Charlo, you got Keith. 'Cause Keith got that power. You know what I mean? Keith's still there. OG still there, man. That shit get more solid as you get older. You know what I mean? I don't know what motherfuckers be talking about. It's that your punches become more solid as you get older. But you know, Fedora gonna be a problem for anybody because he tall. But once you like Brian Mendoza showed you the blueprint. You know what I mean? The hardest fight for everybody though, I will always say it. It'll be Brandon Adams. It'll be Brandon Adams. You know that it come in to give Charlo, Boots, Vergil, and give all of them a run for their money because he a dog. You know what I mean? He a dog. Plus, you see the Puerto Rich type of fight style in him. You know, just a little similar to Sean Porter. You know, he's going to bring it all of the time. He's going to bring it all the time. You know what I mean? Uh, but Charlo and Boots best fight at 154. The toughest fight for both of them. You know, I got to be in the draw because I like both fighters. You know, but Vergil a cool fighter. Vergil a cool fighter, but I'm telling y'all right now, the top this Mexican boy, man, Oswaldo Molina. Salute you, bro. And another one, the Robert Garcia gym. You know, what's my guy name, man? What's my little Emiliano? Alvarado, I like him. Robert got a switch in him, man. I like him. Yeah, he called his own audibles. I like him. I like him. I like him, and he download data quick. I like him. That young man download data quick. Emiliano Alvarado, he download data quick. He called his own audible in the ring and everything. Switch, man, that boy looked good. That fight. I ain't gonna even lie. Shout out to Robert. The fight was on Zuffa. Zuffa 3 card was lit. But shout out to Armado, man. Emiliano Armado, man. He nice. He nice, man. He nice. But Oswaldo Molina, man, I like him a lot too. So that's what I'm saying. Yo, Zuffa had fire card. Zuffa 3. They had some great fights on there, man. So a bunch of great up and coming fighters. You know, shit, man. Let me go back to that motherfucker card, man. Shout out Butte, holding it down for the OGs. You know, Troy Woods really got his first loss, you know, because his other loss was a disqualification. But, you know, he got his first loss on his record. You know, Leo Ruiz came back looking strong. Got Casey Streeter up on out of here. Shout out Jay Burbo, Benito, yo. Benito put pressure and pain on Abel, man. Third round stoppage, pressure and pain. You know, what's the young boy name? Umar, but he did Hamed was crazy. You know, that uppercut in the second round was nasty, man. And shout out to Ijaba, you know, one of the toughest heavyweights that's out there. And me personally, I think he's one of the most dangerous heavyweights out there. And I believe, you know, what a lot of people thought Martin Bacoli was, because I thought he was too, you know, but he just, you know, being too greedy, you know, but I think Ijaba is really that. You know, just a high risk, low reward fighter. So I think the job is really that. Ball got power. He can really punch. He can really punch. But you know, Charles Martin, man, you know Charles Martin, man. The heavyweight American. You feel me? It is what it is, man. I said it. I said it. Fuck it. I said it. Know what I mean? But yeah, what y'all think about Matchroom and that 3 deal fight offer they offer Vergil Ortiz, you know? But Vergil Ortiz test the market and see what him and his manager can do themselves. And that was a great deal. You know what I mean? It was a great deal, but we thought people putting on those big fights. Shit, Ryan just came out and showed the world that he only got paid $5 million for the Rolly fight. Nigga, we thought you made 20. Capski. Too many niggas graduating now, you know what I mean? Too many cap and gowns. But yeah, Frank Sanchez, Richard Torres, IBF Eliminator, Undercard, Fentora Thurman, March 28th, pay-per-view. Let's get it. That man, that's a great fight for Richard Torres. No, that's a great step up for Richard Torres. You know, I want to know who's training Frank. Who's training Frank? Is Robert still training Frank? Who's training Frank? I know I seen him somewhere. I seen him in somebody camp. Was it Ron Guzman? I don't know. I seen him in somebody camp. You know, but hey Richard, man, like bro, Rich, this is your time, an opportunity to show the world, you know, that you know you've been on the grind for a very long time, bro. You've been on the grind for a very long time, and time. It's time to show the world, man. It's time to show and prove, you know. Um, and you finally get in an eliminator situation, you know. You climbed up the ranks, you know. You earned your stakes, you know. You made your name. Now it's time for the world to see who Richard Torres is. You know, a lot of people from the Olympics and the amateurs, we know who you are. But right now, show the world that you're a pay-per-view motherfucker star. You know what I mean? We know you going in and rumble. You know, shout out my co-host Santos Boxing. You know, we know you going in and rumble. But at the end of the day, you know, you fight. If I'm not mistaken, ain't Frank Sanchez a Cuban, something, Dominican, something? You're fighting. I mean, you're fighting no, Frank cool. Frank cool. You know, when I first seen Frank come in the game, Frank was a slick fighter. He had power. He was nice. You know, he just was like a 0.5, no, a Lewis King Kong Ortiz when I seen him, but he was real light on his feet. That's when I used to see him with Robert Garcia, with Mikey and them. And this was way back in the day. I'm talking about like 10 years ago, you know. But damn, that's my stomach. You know, I be trying to starve myself out and eat only when the sun go down. You know what I mean? But when I'm like this, I'll work out all types of shit, build this shit up. That's how I keep my strength, you know? But yes, man, this is your time and opportunity, bro. Your time and opportunity. And another thing I want to mention, right? Since I mentioned the Keyshawn and Abdullah Mason situation about Keyshawn saying he's not paying no more sanctioning fees. In that welterweight, he's not paying no sanctioning fees. Nigga, you don't even got a title. Your name became popular because you won a title. So if you would have never won a title, then what? Then what? Listen, this goes for the youth, right? I want the youth to understand this. Without these sanctioning bodies and you becoming a champion, you feel me? All right, let's say you getting 10 million, right? A fight. You earned your way up to start making 10 million a fight. If you got the WBC and you're the WBC champion, that 10 million a fight becomes 30, 40, 50 million a fight now. You see the difference? So you worked your way up to become a $10 million fighter. Now you it happens because you're gonna have to fight a champion. Now I mean you're gonna have to fight a champion no matter what. Fuck what everybody else telling you the bullshit. You're gonna have to fight a champion, and once you do, and become that WBC champion, or become that WBA, or become that IBF, or even the WBO, bro, you're gonna double, triple, to quadruple your fucking money. So don't let these people tell you different. If you was like Brian Norman went from a $50,000 fighter to a 250. Remember he won the 100 and the 150, then the 200, and he got his million. I mean because he was a champion, but he wasn't going to do that. Still trying to climb up the ranks. People sound stupid as shit. People sound stupid. So it proves that, for instance, if you want to fight Devin got the belt, bro. You gonna have to pay a sanctioning fee, bro. Devin ain't letting that shit happen. Because belts mean something in boxing. Don't let these people tell you something different, man. Because a lot of people don't want you to break their record. That's the key thing. Is people want to trick you out of your position. Oh, that shit don't mean nothing. But when they was rumbling, it means something to them. But now that people out the game, it don't mean nothing to them no more. So they'll put that stigma on you, and then you carry it a certain way, then you end up damaging your whole situation. You know? And you can't never let a person trick you out your position. You know, it doesn't matter. You feel me? Like shout out Jamel Charlo. No, shout out Mel. When he even broke down the sanction and fee situation and how they blackballing him now. I told y'all, yo, there's something against PBC these people got. Cause I know, nigga, bro, I'm getting zapped, man. I'm getting zapped. Nobody popping on my live. Nobody getting my notifications. None of that shit. I'm getting zapped, man. Again, again, you know. But it's cool though. It's called the time, effort, and dedication. It's hard work. You got to go through this shit sometimes just by commentating the truth. You only analyzing what you see and what you hear and what you read, right? Because anything you want to hide, you put it in the book. But when you got niggas that can read and read the book and understand the propaganda that's going on, hey, you got to speak about it. You got to speak about it because you still get eyes. You feel me? You still get eyes. Even if I come on here for an hour every day and just break the news of what I know, hey, it is what it is. Hey, Project Beamer, what up? PB, what up, my guy? Ain't nothing, man. You know, just breaking down what's going on in the sport of boxing right now. You know, hopefully Oscar De La Hoya said he's still wanting to finalize the Boots and Vergil for April 18th. You know, but it's just a bunch of BS in the background that's going on between both of them. It's just crazy with GBP and Vergil and Rick. You know, then shit. If news broke that Matchroom offered him 12 to 20 million to fight Boots plus a 16 plus upside 3-year deal fight, if I'm not mistaken, some shit like that. That's great. That's great for him. But Oscar came in and hopped on that shit and said, nah, ain't none of that happened, broski. Ain't none of that happened. you know, but he got the right to, you know, because he still got fights that's happening on his own. You like Barrios? Listen, I I got a strong feeling, right? Because I always say this: Barrios is the first half fighter, but he always fades in the second half. But you know, I don't know why. I hope Bob is assistant trainer. You know, because I don't know why you left Bob Santos. I don't know why. Know what I mean? Because what Joe Goosen taught Ryan, Henry going to teach his son different. You know, but at the end of the day, it, Barrios can win first half. Ryan can win second half. That's how I got it. I don't know. It's just a funny feeling. That's how I got it. You know, because he can get Ryan out of here in the first half. You know, we always seen Ryan get clipped between the first and the sixth or the second and the sixth. We always seen Ryan get clipped in that first half of the fight. But we seen Barrios get clipped in the second half of the fight. Why? Because he gassed. He gassed a lot. You know, he gassed a lot. You watch what Tank did to him, even when Keith dropped him and shit. You just even what with the Abel Ramos fight, you just watch like from the six on up, seven on up. I don't know, it's like his gas tank dropped, you know. But that's a lot of these fighters nowadays, man. They don't be having enough in the tank, man. They gas too quick. That's why I tell certain people, man, go play basketball. Go run basketball, man. That shit'll open up your lung span, man. You know what I mean? Shit'll open it up, man. Plus it'll help you pivot. It'll help every ligament in your legs, especially by your knees. You know, that shit'll work. Plus, it'll help your legs build your cardio, you know, have more stamina, your agility, your awareness. Everything be on the beam ski. You know, everything be on the beam ski. All you need to play 10 games of basketball, full court games a week. Play 10 games. You can go out on a Sunday and just run all day, play basketball all day. You know what I mean? That's like doing a 5K, man. Real rap. You know what I mean? Then when you done that, just go swim. You know what I mean? Like with certain fighters to lose weight, you know, you can don't do the cold situation, eat ice, go, you know what I mean, take a hot ass bath, sit in a hot ass tub, and just eat ice, bro. You're gonna burn, you're gonna lose weight. It's a lot of tricks and traits to cut weight, you know, but fight at your pure weight class. That's the best thing to do. That's what I said back in the day. It was different, man. You had 8 different weight classes, you know, you had 8 different weight classes. You feel me? And it wasn't all of that. Nah, nigga, you fought in your proper weight class. So if you was a welterweight, right? You was 140, 147, and 154. That was the welterweight division. But you can't tell these people now, so turn down to 17 divisions, and that's why you got all these interim champs. Everybody bitching about a belt, but nobody bitching about all these divisions. Make it make sense. The reason there's all these belts because there's all these divisions. So if you get to go back down to 8 divisions, you ain't got to worry about all these interim titles. When I was fighting in the 90s, I hated basketball. I jumped rope drills and I don't laugh. I dance for. Yo, dancing, listen, dancing work. That's what I'm saying. You ain't got to play back. Listen, as long as you know how to dance, bro. Jumping rope mean a lot too. That's a key thing a lot of these kids don't know. Listen, man, tradition is key. Tradition is key, bro. Jump rope, help your footwork, your agility and stamina. It depends. It depends. You feel me? Of the person, you know. But everything you just stated being like that's all a fact. But these kids don't do that now, bro. These niggas wanna do all this P90X shit, all of these football drills. That shit ain't gonna help you, bro. Go back to tradition, man. You just hit that shit right on the money. You just hit that shit right on the money. You ain't gotta play basketball, but as long as you know how to dance your ass off and you jump and rope, bro. It's better than you doing them P90, all of them football drills. Cause that football shit ain't working for you, bro. I mean, but me, no, I always all three to me. I know how to dance, I know how to jump rope. I did it all, but I grew up playing basketball and football and flipping and shit. So that's all I did. Know what I mean? But when I played basketball, I started to see later on in life, I started to see like, damn, you know, when you step in pop and you pivot, you know, like you get more pop. Know what I mean? It's more power in your pop. Know what I mean? Because when I sit back and watch fighters, they step with their jab, right? But before they jab land, they feet ain't even touching the ground. You know, and we used to get popped for that back then as a kid. You know, Pat man used to pop the shit out of us. Nah, step then pop, step then pop, so you can have some whip to your shit. Know what I mean? But you don't throw power, you just pop it, bang. The more speed and pop, the more it's gonna hurt him. Now I mean, it'll cheer you, you know. But we was doing this shit with our fists, you feel me? He teaching us with our fists and shit in the hood. You know what I mean? He'll come on the corner and have all the little niggas locked up. And we just going at it. The ball pad man, everybody know pad man. Everybody know pad man. You know, we used to sneak the front street gym. We used to sneak the Johannes gym. Bro, we were some badass little kids. But here in Philly, you know, as soon as you walk out your door, you fighting. I mean, that shit just different growing up. And every time we walked out our door, we was rumbling. But remember, you growing up in the hood, nigga. I'm southpaw. I mean, I write with my right hand. So we grow up. This is how we fighting, right hand type shit. And then when we learned from them, they made us switch our whole style. But what he did is everything you do in this style, do it in this style. Mirror image, mimic everything. And that's what we started doing. So a lot of us growing up, we just was switch hitters naturally. You know, the shit just came naturally. You dig me? And when I was playing basketball, you know, I was always in juvenile placement and shit. So they used to be like, this old head guy named Leon. He always liked how I play basketball. Always take me down. I'm little as shit, but I was busting everybody ass. He just like for half hour he just used to make me dribble with my left hand, shoot with my left hand, lay everything with my left hand and shit. You know what I mean? So I throw everything with that shit. You know what I mean? And at that time when I was looking, like I said, I started looking at keys like, damn, this shit can help in boxing. You know what I mean? And I tell my oldest son that I said, you ain't even gotta shoot it, just run up and down. But if you plan to shoot the ball, just grab it, dribble it, stop. You know what I mean? And you just work on your pivot. But when you're looking at your pivot while you're holding the ball, you just looking at it as a boxing stance, how you just moving around your pivot. Like this. Like, like if I dribble down the court and I stop on my left foot, now I can pivot. You feel me? See how you got the ball, you pivoting? You coming up under, pushing me back, to shoot or to fade away. You feel me? Or to pass it, just like boxing. You stop when you pivot. You feel me? You pivot, boom, 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 boom. You feel me? You pivot out the way, pivot out the way. But the only good thing about that, hey, toe to toe boxer, what up? Appreciate you, bro. But you see how you coming in. But in boxing, you're not going to travel. So now you can pivot to this side, switch, boom, boom, boom. And that's what I always teach them. But it helps the ligaments in your legs. You feel me? It helps the ligaments in your legs, boxing. I mean, playing basketball. Because you know, a lot of these kids, they don't play sports. So they'll go straight into boxing. And then, you know, you'll get a high sprain and it'll bother you. But once you catch that shit in basketball, like, you ain't got, like, you're going to get used to it. You feel me? But it helps every ligament in your knees and in your legs, man. Plus, it helps your cardio, open up your lungs, man. No, all you gotta do is play 10 games of full court basketball every week. Go every Sunday, play some ball. Hit the gym, go play some ball. You're gonna have fun. It's about going out there and having fun. But you're working on cardio, you're working on footwork, you're working on your pivots. You know what I mean? And then when you go back to the gym, you just say, all right, let me see. Then you just stand on your pivots and just you light on your feet, man. But if you dance, make it even better. So when you go home, just dance every day too. Go on a mirror dance. You walk, that shit work. When you go back to the gym, you know what I mean? Do your drills, but you gotta jump rope. You gotta jump rope. You know what I mean? Hit that speed, that 5K is definition, bro. That shit key. That 5K be key. To me, 5K key. Tradition is key. Tradition is key. And there's no tradition out there. And when you see the fighters that got the tradition, you see something different. Like for instance, I'm gonna keep it tall. I ain't never know riding horses, help your footwork and your grounding, and it'd be hard for you to get knocked the fuck out. I never knew that. I never knew that. Real shit. Canelo ride horses. I never knew that. Nah, man. You see how motherfuckers ride horses, how they start walking. I never knew that. It's hard to knock a nigga that ride horses out. You know what I mean? Real shit. I never knew that. I learned that shit like a year or two ago. Real rap. I never knew that. But I was being placement like Vision Quest. I used to see the nigga, man, I knocked that nigga the fuck out. He wasn't this boot camp sergeant nigga. Real rap. Not knowing, but it'd be hard to knock the niggas that ride horses out. You know what I mean? Especially when you do net workouts too. Net workouts, that shit help a lot. The person knocking you out. Plus, like if you get popped with a punch, you know how you get dazed? Or when you working your shit out, it helps with the days. So once you get used to it, a person probably that shit ain't gonna bother you. Ain't gonna even phase you. You know. Remember, we in the street, so I'm talking about some fists and shit. That shit'll cut you open, but you ain't gonna let it. You want to see it come. As long as you train every day, shadow box every day, you want to see everything come. I do this shit every day. That's why Canelo facts. Hey, so facts. He never been dropped. It's real shit. It's a leg sport. It's a leg sport. It's a leg sport, bro. Now, I mean, shout out Wilder. That nigga legs like this. That nigga legs like this. Instead of being like this, them bitches like this. Know what I mean? Your legs mean everything, man. Your legs mean everything, bro. From your calves to your motherfucking quads to your motherfucking hamstring, dog. Your legs mean everything. That's where the power coming from. Especially when you stationary, shit. You ground it, hit it, boom. Hey, ride the horses, man. I ain't never knew that shit. Never did. Now watch Melo. Jump rope, he do everything. Dance, jump rope, do everything. But riding those motherfucking horses. Riding those motherfucking horses. And he stayed doing network all day. I don't give a fuck if the nigga at the bar. I seen this nigga at a club. Know what I mean? He like this. He hit the nigga, they like this in some suits. I said, this nigga for real. I said, this nigga for real. This nigga in the club, drunk, doing net workouts. This nigga for real. Know what I mean? And then picture this motherfucker drunk riding, motherfucker. This nigga, you know how you drinking driving? He horse riding and he drunk. Know what I mean? I mean, he riding under the influence. RUI, that nigga riding under the influence. I hope his footwork. Shit crazy. Shit crazy. On top of that, you on top of a live wild animal. Like, bro, come on, that horse kicked the shit out you, bro. Nigga, I was on a horse before. Them motherfuckers scared me. It's my junior. I put the nigga on a horse and he pulled the horse hair. But them guys said horses love kids, so don't worry about it. He feels the child. But you gotta be cool because he feel you too. So nigga, I thought of some Avatar shit. Remember when the motherfucker hooked onto the Avatar? I thought of some shit like that. I said, man, get me the fuck off this horse right now, nigga. You stand right there, walk this. I'm not walking this motherfucker. You gonna walk us on a horse, nigga? I was bitch. Get me off this motherfucker horse. That's why when I was in boot camp, I ain't ride horses. I be fucked up. I do everything else. I remember one time we walking the trail, we seen a brown bear and shit. I think it was like a black brown bear. We up Franklin, PA and shit in boot camp. We walking the trail, we see a bear. So now, mind you, I'm the third nigga in line because I'm the third littlest motherfucker. So word was they used to always train us: if you see a bear, don't run, nigga. Yeah, I've been to Pivot Gym. My son won the title down Pivot Gym. He won 2 titles down Pivot Gym. Bill just was down there. My son just told me Bill was down there because I'm a house rhythm. Bill was down there. Yeah, we be down. We had fights in Pivot Gym. It's right there on 6th and Somerset. Yeah, nice gym. Good people. Plus they in the game too. And I like that show they got. They do a show. It's a Spanish joint. When they throw in their amateur fights, they got a Spanish show that shit fire. I'm gonna get the name of the show. I forget the name of the show. It's a Spanish name. Yeah, I like that joint. They always do lives and stuff, But yeah, the pivot cool, pivot cool. But yeah, getting back to the beer situation and shit. I seen on National Geographic. You feel me? A bear can't run downhill. If he run on land, the nigga run 40 miles per hour. So if you run downhill, he gonna get fucked up. So where we going, it's a cottage right there. It's a platoon right there. So when we walking, you got Slopey, you got Loper, then you got me. We seen the bear. He pulled up in front of us. Them motherfucking Sergeant Woods and Corporal Grooves, them niggas in the back. With motherfucking Major Moss and shit. I mean Captain Moss. Don't move. Don't move, nigga. You all the way back there. I'm all the way up here. I seen the hill, nigga. I got skinny. They whooped my ass. We all got to that motherfucking joint. That bear got fucked up. That bear was, we ran right in the platoon. Oh, they whooped our ass in that platoon. Why you run? You fuck me up. They got me fucked up, nigga. I'm not dying today. Not without no motherfucking beer, nigga. That nigga gonna hit all three of us, nigga. All three of us flying. Know what I mean? But it's called paying attention in school and watching National Geographics, nigga. Know what I mean? Real shit. Real shit. But yeah, Pivot Gym, let me see. Give me 1 second. You got, yeah. Yeah, it's on my community. It's posted on my community on YouTube. We inside Pivot Gym. My son got his belt. Just to do it. Yeah, they cool, man. Yeah, my son on my community. I got the picture of my community on YouTube. With my son in his title. He fought this tall ass, and plus it's on my it's on my what you call it. It's on my videos on YouTube. You be in Pivot. He fought this tall boy. No, that was it was a black bear. It was a black bear because in PA we got black bears. But I just knew about a bear. It can't run downhill. You feel me? But and when you get to boot camp, they'll tell you if you see a bear, a snake, whatever, don't the snake, don't touch it, don't run, don't. And they got me fucked up, bro. They ain't telling me what to do. I'm the third nigga in line. They got me fucked up. And you all the way back there. You feel me? Ain't no corporal. We marching forward like this. We marching forward and shit. Nigga, got me fucked up. Then y'all had us making these trails all in the woods, but we pushing these big ass oak trees, man. So push, or not, you're not going home. Nigga, you gotta come get a cat or something to move this shit. Then you know what they did? They went and got a cat and moved the motherfucker. A big ass joint to move the shit. But we used to make trails in that joint. This was motherfucking I went up there in 2001. That shit was crazy, bro. That shit was crazy. Then you had to do the Buffalo Soldier shit. Then you had to go in the TP underground on some Indian shit. Bro, they had us doing all type of shit. But they told us, they gave us a certificate. They said, if you ever want to join the army, you can go straight to the army. You ain't got to do no boot camp because you did it already. Yeah, they wanted us to stay there. You got to stand there. If you see a bear, you got to stand there. If you come face to face with a bear, you got to stand there and can't move. Nigga, I'm the third nigga in line. National Geographic said that motherfucker can't run down a hill, so I ran down a hill, and everything they said was real. That motherfucker was tumbling. They tumbled because they run like this. They tumbled. We ran into the cottage, to the platoon. And he whooped my ass in that platoon. You could have got everybody killed, nigga. Us three could have got killed. What the fuck is you talking about? You all the way back there, nigga. Us three could have got killed. So it's cool for us three to get killed by this motherfucking bear and y'all to live. Nigga, I'm running down that hill. Y'all be fucked up. Nigga, I ran down that hill fast as shit. They whooped my ass when I got out of that platoon. Yeah, but they want you to stand there. You gotta stand there. Why you think a lot of people, when they come into contact with bears, you'll see them not moving and standing there? They got me fucked up. First of all, what the fuck is y'all doing out there bothering them bears? And listen, first of all, what the fuck y'all got this juvenile facility open around some motherfucking bears? You know what I mean? Now they can't run down a hill. They can't run down a hill. Because remember, they run like this. They run like this. So if they run straight, they run fast as shit, even uphill, but they can't run downhill. They can climb trees, they can swim. That's why I like tigers. I love tigers. I love tigers, bears, and motherfucking apes. I love tigers. Nigga, you can't run from a tiger. Say that nigga climbing up that tree, my nigga, he going up there and get you. He coming to get you. One jump in that water, nigga, he jumping in that water with you. You feel me? Even the bear, bro, they jumping in that motherfucking water, they climbing that tree. They can run up a hill, but running down they can't. But a tiger can. They can't run downhill. Look it up, they can't run downhill. Well, I got skinny like a motherfucker. Cause the cottage right there. This the hill, this the book. This the book. I'm gonna use this right here. This the book, this the hill, this the cottage. I ran right down that motherfucker. Whoop! We all did. Cause it was slopey. Slopey was the white boy in front. It was Loper in the back from Local was from Delaware. I'm from Philly, so I'm already in Pennsylvania. So no, I'm from PA. I'm from Philly. Local from my nigga was from Newcastle, Delaware, and what fuck Stobie was from like Maryland. Yeah, he was from Maryland. And Jaguars too. I just was thinking about Jaguars. And if I'm not mistaken, Camp Panthers too. I don't know about the Panthers, but I know about Jaguar. I was thinking of a black. I think leopard skin too. If I'm not mistaken. Leopards they leopards cheated. Leopards they ain't shit. Leopards dangerous. I don't know. I just like tigers because they renegades. They by themselves. They by themselves. Yeah, you go to the Poconos. That's where they at. They be up there too. You know, Franklin, PA is a little bit more up than the Poconos, bro. That shit real, bro. Yeah, Ghost and Albright fight, great fight. Yo, this is a great fight for Frank. Even for Albright, if Albright get this victory, it's a heavy, 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 heavy name on his resume. You feel me? Even just by fighting Frank, it's a heavy name. But getting the victory make it more solidified. But you know, even Frank beating Albright is a great name. You know, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Albright go to the Olympics? You know, I ain't really a big fan of him. I just know he was a good fighter. If I'm not mistaken, he was in the Olympics, some shit like that too. I love to see that fight. That'd be a great fight. If Ghost beat Albright, I love and Gary come out victorious against Andy. I love to see that fight. Especially next, I love to see that next. That'd be a tough fight. That'd be a tough fight. That'd be that gotta be main event. Frank versus motherfucking Gary gotta be main event. Roll rack. If they both win this weekend, it got to be main event. It got to. It got to. But we're gonna see what this kid Andy Hiroka really about. Japanese kid. You see certain fighters you fight, you be like, all right, bro. But now this is a different level of competition. Know what I mean? It's a different level of competition. And we this ain't no disrespect here in America, bro. And these gyms, we done seen it all. I heard this morning might replace me. On who? Hey, Toe, on who? The Gary situation? Damn, breaking news on the Gary situation. Yeah, because I just hopped on here this morning, because I was reading up on the Vergil claims and shit about even the 3-fight deal offer that was offered by Matchroom. Still giving him between 12 to 20 million for the boot situation and plus a 16 plus upside for a 3-year deal fight. That's what I was reading this morning. But damn, I got my eyes on Roach now. I want to see if he gets this shit qualified. Hey, it can happen, especially at 140 right now. Roach ain't got nobody to fight. That'd be a good fight for Shakur to defend the WBO title. His first title defense. Yeah, that's a solid name. Out of everybody up there right now, that's a solid motherfucking name. You know what I mean? I'll do the Roach fight. And if you're not going to unify, but you look like every champion is being occupied, bro, the Roach, the only fight that makes sense. Plus it'd be one of your biggest, toughest challenges, in your first title defense. Especially out of every, well, shit, Hitchens got a problem. He got Oscar Duarte. The Duarte looking strong, bro. The motherfucking, listen, man, those snack fighters on a different level, nigga. Yeah, they trying to put Ghost with Gary. Something is going on with Albright. Not sure if it stands or not. Yo, so you mean they trying to make? Oh my God! Please let that happen. Shit, I take that. Please let that happen. But I don't see it happening because it's a big fight to be last. Yeah, it's a big fight to be last minute. But what's up with Andy? That's what I'm saying. If Andy Hiroka and what's up with Andy? Like, damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's some big news. That's some big news if that really happened. But like I said, that shit got to be a main event by itself. I ain't know it's probably happened last minute. Shit, Frank versus Gary last minute. That should be crazy, man. That definitely be crazy, man. Damn, that's crazy, bro. We got to make this stuff happen, man. Dang, I'm working my people's drawing right now, arguing, man. We going. Let me go back here real quick, get some motherfucking coffee, man. I don't see it happening. It's a big fight last minute. That's what I'm saying. Bro, you gotta oh, that's a main event, man. That's a motherfucking main event. I don't know. To me, that's a main event. But if that happens now, what happened with Andy? You feel me? I feel what you saying, too. But bro, what happened to Andy then? What the fuck Andy gonna do? So that means Andy gonna lose out on the championship fight? You feel me? So that means Andy Hologa gonna lose out on the championship fight? Nah, that shit crazy. That shit crazy. That shit crazy. I can't see that. I can't see him losing out on the championship fight. No. I gotta go grab some honey, man. This house shit, bro. Hopefully by March I'll be up off this shit, man. Get to move around or give me a curfew. Last minute is crazy for that fight. They need to train properly for each other. Facts. Facts. Unless you go in there and train well, because sometimes, like me, if I was the person trainer and I'm bringing in sparring, I'm gonna bring in all types of fighters. I'm gonna bring in probably like you're gonna have certain fighters that can mimic the fighter, the opponent we fighting. But I'm gonna always bring 2 to 3 more fighters so you can spar just in case it be some last minute shit like this. Know what I mean? But it can't happen. I don't know. Like Andy Coloca, like what the fuck gonna happen to his chance to fight for a title? He just gonna give it up like that? Y'all just gonna pull him out like that? That shit make no sense if you just pull him out like that. You know? Dang, that's fucked up if they do that. All right, it's fucked up if they do that. It's crazy, man. Now we understand what Deontay Wilder said, and the promo got to be on point for it. Facts. Hey, listen, that's a big fight. That's a big ass fight. Frank versus Gary, that's a big fight and a great fight. Know what I mean? That's a big fight and a great fight, especially for PBC too. Just to come back this year. You know, that's what I'm saying. If Andy, I don't know, something got to be wrong with Andy then. That's what I'm saying. I don't know about Albright. Like something got to be wrong with Andy. Something got to be wrong with Andy for them to do that. My apologies, y'all. I had to go get coffee. You had to let me ride with me. You know what I mean? But yeah, something got to be wrong with Andy. But damn, I'm gonna check into that soon as we get off. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hit Vegas up. I'm gonna hit my man up. And I got a homie over there. You know what I mean? Shout out my nigga Vegas. You know where you is. You know what I mean? Met a homie when I was in jail. This was like years ago and shit. I nigga Vegas and shit. Shout out to Martavius Bryant. At the time, they from Philly. No, but Martavius Bryant used to play for the Steelers and shit. But my man had moved out Vegas. So one day he got locked up in Vegas. And Philly, they come get you. I don't give a fuck. You on the moon. You got a bench warrant in Philly, or Pennsylvania in general, nigga. You can get locked up on the moon. Them niggas taking a rocket to go to the moon and go get your ass. Yeah. In the crazy spot right now. Yeah, we about to see though. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get in contact with my man and see what's going on, if he know anything, but I'm gonna look into it as soon as I get off. Sorry, Vegas, my dog, man. Yeah, but my man been out Vegas for a while, so when he got locked up, he come to Philly. I met the nigga in jail and he became cool. See, when the nigga be talking, I'm like, man, forgot. But he used to call his cousin. You know what I mean? Cousin sent him some pictures. He'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna be out of here. So when I got home, and he got home first. So when I ended up getting home, I called the nigga, you know what I mean? And he stand on everything he said he was, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? But at that time, this when PBC started, it was coming up. He was like, yeah, I know Floyd, I know this nigga. But at the time, when you in jail, you just listen to niggas, you know what I mean? And everything he said he was, he was. Yeah, Latavius Bryant from Philly. Yeah, that boy from Philly. I ain't even know. That's how I met the boy. He's like, yeah, my cousin from Philly. He played for the Steelers. Man, who the fuck is your cousin? Octavius Bryant. So I started looking into my tape. This one, Antonio Brown was there popping with the Steelers and shit. And Martavius was nice. Martavius Bryant was nice. Crazy receiver. That nigga nice. Remember they gave Antonio Brown that big contract. I'm not mistaken, it was like 88 million. And Martavius probably got like 19 or 24 million or some shit. They made him the number two. But Ben wasn't treating him like the number two. You know what I mean? So yeah. My homie, he went out Vegas and shit. Well, he was telling me his story when he was locked up, man, his selling and shit. You know, when everybody come through, you know, I know how I feel. I don't know, like old motherfuckers, they tend to grow on me, like they become cool with me and shit. You know? Young and you got an old soul, but the nigga really was who he said he was. Yeah. And then throughout the years, we just been, you know, especially like this boxing shit, we just been keeping contact. He seen one of my videos. He said, "Nigga, I'm gonna give you some info whenever I come across something." That's why sometimes when if I know something and I speak on it and I know it's fact, this is what happened to be. But yeah, man. Damn. This shit crazy. If it happens, hey, great. If it happens, great. But dang, this got to be his own main event, man. Dang. Shout out to my co-host Santos Boxing. He hit me up late last night. You know, I was cutting hair and shit. I was supposed to hit him back, but you know, had got occupied about something. I think that's the break. He had some breaking news to share, man. My co-host got some breaking news to share. He got some information to talk about. You know, he hit me up late last night. You know, then he sent the text. Sent the text, I'll call you back and cut. But my brain, I ended up getting occupied doing something else after that. But he's hit me back. Y'all got some breaking news and shit. Damn. Dang. You know, because I be up all night just doing research, man. You know, like the Oscar Collazo, Gabriela Fendora, you know, on a Barboza Sims card. You know, that's a great card, you know, especially Sims and Barboza, first fight at welterweight. Hey, you know. Then when you look at the IBF title eliminator on the undercard of Fendora and Thurman, you got Frank Sanchez and Richard Torres, you know. No, Rich, I mean, got a lick right now. Hopefully he do good. You know, but yes, Oscar Collazo got a new opponent. You know, he got Mexico on Jesus Harold, you know, late replacement, you know. But it ain't really a late replacement, you know, just the fight with Jerusalem ain't happening, you know. Yeah, I got the info from Blue Blood Sport. Oh, Blue Blood? All right. Yeah, cause you know Blue Blood, he cool with the Russells and shit. You know, Blue cool with a lot of people, but man, I'm gonna be on Blue Blood ass. You know what I mean? Blue. No, yeah, this is Blue Blood TV. You messing with the WBA, Ring Magazine, Lineal, WBC champion, 34 and 0, 38 knockout. Nigga, come on, bro. Come on, nigga, we know. We know. Get to the point, nigga. Get to the point, bro. You know what I mean? But shout out Blue Blood, man. You know, I always was watching Blue, you know what I mean? Shout out Bluebird. But yeah, I'm about to get up on out of here. You know what I mean? I'm about to go check out this information. You know, and I'll be back for more. Uh, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. I appreciate you. Hey, toe to toe, I appreciate you. Herb Legend, I appreciate you. Project Beamer, I appreciate you. I appreciate all.